Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Accountant, part of the Ask the Accountant Network, podcast network for accountants and bookkeepers, supported by our Patreon community, which goes live on the 1st of January. I think I've got the date right. And once we go live at this point of the show, we'll be shouting out all of our Patreon community members, which I cannot wait to see. If you'd like to support us, then you will be able to visit Patreon and search for Ask the Accountant as of the 1st of January and sign up to a monthly subscription where you'll get lots of bonus content and be able to chat with us directly. I think that was the feature we turned on, right?
Yeah, we've got that, don't we?
Cool. But as always, guys, welcome to the weekly live show. This part is not going to be behind the paywall. This is always going to be a freebie, as is everything we've always done, like Ask the Accountant on location, call friends, grid walk, etc. But you're going to get an early preview of all of those, apart from the weekly show, because this is live. I can't do a pre-run of this and then do the live show, because that won't work. But all of that you'll get early access to as a member of the Patreon community starting in January. And as always, this week I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Aaron Patrick, who seems to still be celebrating Lando's win with his orange McLaren shirt. How are you? And how was your week?
Yeah, good, thank you. I had a week of not having to go down to London, so I'm extremely happy about that. I feel refreshed, feel ready to take on the world. And I'm in my orange top for reasons we'll hopefully explain next week. But yeah, loving all the news that came through McLaren and stuff. I got to watch Lando actually receive his trophy as well, so that was good fun, wasn't it? And yeah, it was good. What about yourself, though? I hear you've done your final London trip. Talk to us.
Yeah, and I've come back with a horrible chesty cough and mucus. Yeah, it is grim. People in London are dirty. It's just illness is waiting to happen. I am done, thankfully. That was my last trip of the year. I'm quarantining myself for the next month, at which point I'll be back on the rails down to Reading. But yeah, I'm so pleased it's done for the year. I added it up the other night, spent 68 nights away this year for business, which I thought, actually, that's not too bad. And then my wife turned around and said, yeah, but that's like 2 months. So,
There's only 365 days in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's nothing compared to Zach Brown.
You were saying, yeah.
He spent 269 nights away for work this year. And he's been married 30 years, so it must work.
Does he bring his wife, though? Is that the difference?
Oh, I don't know. I doubt it.
One of those nights was Monaco. I'm sure the wife wouldn't mind a trip to Monaco. I'm sure that wouldn't go down too badly. You've got Abu Dhabi, you've got all these other exotic places. It's not a bad little thing. Although I assume he lives in USA?
No, he lives in London.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. Fully committed. So how was that? How was that whole experience?
He was incredible to sit and listen to. You could sit and listen to him for hours and hours and hours. He was very angry at Yuki for trying to kill his driver, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really, really good evening listening to him. I've got a copy of his book on my bookshelf, so just another book to read over the Christmas period.
So you've got a copy of Zach Brown on your bookshelf. I've got 2 copies of Johann Goree. I don't know if he's winning on this one.
I told you, toilet paper needs to be stored in the bathroom, not on your bookshelf.
Brilliant.
But yes, but as always, guys, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our community. That means we've got to be here every week because you'll all be on to us if we're not here on time. But speaking of being on time, as per usual, Cheryl Stone, 8:30 a.m. 3 comments came in at 8:30 a.m., but hers was right up there as first in. I think AI does it now. I reckon she's got it set up on AI. So it says, good morning, a week away from the shortest day, winter solstice is next Sunday. It is, and the nights start getting slightly lighter. Good morning to Tim as well. And good morning to Kirsty. Good morning to Stephanie. Paul Ingram says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Paul. Miura, good morning, everyone from London. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Yes, I feel like I got cheated because one of my days was traveling, but yeah, it's feels like I was cheated of half my weekend this morning. Good morning to Paul Whitehouse. Good morning to Suzanne. Lisa says good morning. Sue Green is here twice saying good morning. Good morning to Sue. And Natasha, the bookkeeping superhero, says good morning as well. Fantastic.
And I was on a podcast this week.
You
so
were?
yeah, definitely listen.
How was that?
Was brilliant. Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great host, kept the conversation like flowing. Brilliant, really, really good.
I mean, without any offense to Natasha, it's not hard to keep the conversation flowing with you on technology, is it? Like,
True. I mean, what was good to that?
We worked harder to get it within the set time parameters, really.
100%. We didn't get to do it because it was pre-show, but she was telling me all about a Starlink. I could spoke all day about a Starlink. You know what I mean? Now that was working out for her.
Fair enough. Right. Well,
we've got one more at the very beginning.
Oh, sorry. And Suzanne, you came in at 8:22. So that means you go to the bottom of the list because you're too early.
Too eager.
Yeah, too eager. So yeah, good morning to Suzanne as well. And Stephanie says it's hard to keep the conversation flowing. It's hard not to make a monologue.
Yeah, she's talking about podcasting, isn't she? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Natasha says it was a great episode. For anyone that's not watched it, go and find that I saw it on LinkedIn, YouTube. It's on all the usual platforms, so all good. Right, we've got lots of topics to get through, people, so let's crack on. Let's start with Xero's announcement. Xero have announced an update to their MTD IT product, and they're using this as I'm not sure if you read the blog that came out with this update, but the blog was very much trying to convince us this is one of the reasons they've not been rushing to get anything out there. They wanted it right. They wanted it perfect. But to be fair to Xero, this is a clever move. I like this. So Xero have launched the ability to report multiple incomes for a sole trader from one license. So you got your sole trader, maybe they've got a bit of an Uber business, maybe they've got a bit of a health and beauty business, and they do a bit of landlords. That can all go through one license with Xero and be filed into 3 different quarterly returns using their locations and tracking tools. Fantastic. That suddenly combats the cost of the software, right? Because I no longer need 3 licenses for that sole trader. I just need the one. So yeah, I mean, Aaron, I'm guessing you're not on board with this, and you think this is all absolute black magic, but carry on. Tell us why Xero's wrong.
Not at all. No, look, welcome to the party. Welcome, Xero. Welcome to being involved in MTD. We're very, very grateful you've decided to turn up 11th hour, but you're here. That's all that matters. Look, I understand it from Xero's point of view. They got burnt. They were with everyone else trying to produce an MTD solution, and then it got pulled and blah, blah, blah. And we got delays. We look at Company's House and we go, thank God they delayed, right? Like compared to what Company's House hash have made of it. Look, I get it. I get why Xero haven't been all in on it. And also we've spoke about it before, right? They've got their little, this is their ideal client, and MTD doesn't quite fit in. It's a little bit too far to the left for them in terms of small clients and everything else. But this is a really nice solution. This is a solution where, they can, like you've said there, you just need one license to rule them all, and you can have one license to support your client. What I would say though is this is definitely, if we look at all 4 different MTD solutions out there, right? And we did this MTD series where, watch series, right? And we went through every product on there. You've got your free agent that has absolutely nailed the idea of having multiple licenses, like you said there, and having that, and especially for a property, that they're on board with that. Got a great price point, as we've always talked about. and they've got that integration with Metal as well. So they've got a really nice kind of customer centric, if you like, with a tiny bit of help for the accountant, but very, very focused on making that customer work quite well. You've got Sage, and they've got their amazing AI solution, and really like, let's automate this, let's make this absolutely brilliant, and everything else. And then you've got QuickBooks, and QuickBooks has definitely gone down the route of let's just have the best product out there for the consumer, for the customer, right? Because literally they can attach their bank account and that's all they need to do. It's all automated. They've got this beautiful like solution here. And Xero is still trying to find the feet of where do they sit in this whole MTD world? And I get what they're doing. They've definitely given a tool that for accountants and bookkeepers is phenomenal, like brilliant. Like, thank you so much. That's going to be brilliant. Even I'm thinking about, actually, there's a couple of clients use cases I've got where that's going to be a good fit for them. And, you know, I think Xero might win a couple of those client use cases for me. Great. Love that. But it's not very client centric, is it? It's not really helping the client in any possible way. And I just feel like the rest of them have kind of gone, how do we help the client in one way or another? And Xero's just gone, oh, we'll give them a tool for the accountants and bookkeepers, and that's kind of it. Because as good as this
the irony is, you're normally there going, oh, you're trying to cook the accountants and bookkeepers out of the relationship.
Yeah,
like,
but
technically, does this not reinforce the bookkeepers and accountants in the relationship?
But if you don't give the clients like an easy way of doing it, isn't this just going to cost you as a firm so much more time and effort and money, right? Because what we need, MTD, we've said so many times, got such little amount of meat on the bone, right? We can't afford to go, oh, well, we can spend an extra half an hour to do it this way because we know that product and that product's fine, right? We don't really have that luxury with this one. It's all going to be about, you know, like that analogy I was saying with Natasha on the pod, right? I feel like at the moment we're going through a pit stop on F1, right? And we're trying to shave off these seconds here, there, and the seconds there, and you know, well, milliseconds, isn't it, in terms of in pit stops, right? Because we're trying to remain competitive. This, to me, great idea from us as the accountant, because it's a really good tool to do that. But we're not helping our client give us that data. They're still going to have to go through the traditional way. I know I'm the only person in the whole world saying this, but I just wish Xero Go was still around, because Xero Go, all the flaws it had, was designed just to go, let's get that data in easy for the client. If Xero Go was around now and they had time to, you know, fix it and fix those criticism problems it had, I think we'll be having a completely different conversation, because that product was focused on going, here you go, client, let's give you a really easy way to give us that data and let's work with you. You know, you're not quite big enough for a full-blown version of Xero at this point in time, which is complicated and everything else. You know, we're targeting clients who have never wanted to go digital before. Like we're trying to entice them in, right? I just don't know if this is the way to entice them. Well, this is the ones who are already digital, giving them a really cool tool so that they, you know, well, again, I don't think it's for the client. I've given us a cool tool for us to then be able to like help those type of clients. But they're quite bigger clients, aren't they? If they've got multiple income streams and everything else, they're probably going to have enough budget there to pay for bookkeeping and accountancy and all that sort of stuff. Like they probably already are. And this is just a tool to help you actually maintain compliant. They're still not looking at the rest of the MTD world, are they? Like that, and I get it, right? They've got.
I refer you back to your original comment about they've got a client, they've got a niche that they're trying to stick to.
Yeah.
So this actually works for that niche.
Is that forever though? Is this it? Or are we saying this is it? Because if you're a Xero only practice, how are you going to support that MTD people? Like that's what I'm.
Maybe you don't. Like. Our firm is moving more and more into acquisitions, financial due diligence and stuff like that. We don't even advertise self-assessments on our website anymore. So there's going to be plenty of firms out there that don't do just self-assessment service for one-off tax return clients. They do full-blown services and that's it. And that's the decision that firm's taken. So actually, this is a great solution for that firm, because their firm is in line with the Xero dynamic of what they're looking for with customers.
Yeah. I don't know. I get it. But
regardless of your client profile, regardless of your client profile,
yeah,
I do think this feature lays a gauntlet down for QuickBooks, Free Agent, and Sage to go, okay, we need to be able to, because that's
In what way? Because free agent already have this. They've had this since day one. Free agents have had this since day one, right?
You can't have multiple incomes reported on one free agent license.
I thought you could with free. I thought that's what they, because it was to do with their. If you think about their property,
yeah, they've got a landlord license.
Yeah, but you can file like if you've got two different people in that property, you can file for both of them in one license, can't you?
But you can't file other incomes through it, to my knowledge.
True. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, do they even? Maybe. Yeah. I think you're right. They don't. I don't think they even have a solution.
If I've got a sole trader business and a landlord business, I need two licenses from free agent.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm only allowed one metal bank account.
So with this zero, just to full clarity, maybe we don't know. Maybe we need to ask the community for help on this. But if you use this for zero and you've got a husband and wife, can you file separately for them?
I don't know about that bit.
But yeah, well, I think we need clarity on that.
Yeah.
But that's what free agent have got. That's one like
that in their
pain point.
Zero account.
Yeah.
But if I've got a sole trader business and a landlord business, as it were, with QuickBooks, I'll need two licenses. With free agent, I need two licenses. That lays down a gauntlet to go, do we need to respond?
I mean, there's always deals to be had, right? And I don't think anyone is, concerned about the price point, because there's like they've already saying that, you buy one, get the second half price. All those sort of deals will happen, right? So that bit isn't the problem. What we need is the functionality to make this seamless, isn't it? Like that's what we need to make this win. Yeah. And I think you're right. And we'll need someone from free agent to tell us differently. But I can't remember if free agent have an elegant way of saying this license is for my my sole trader. This license is for my rental. Is there like an overlapping? Because that's what QuickBooks has already. They have this new like overlapping bit at the top where you get to be able to connect multiple ones. They're even going as far as saying, well, what if you had like a property with 4 different people involved in it? How are they going to, so they've got elegant solutions for that. Yes, you have to pay for the individual license, and I get that. I completely see your point. But realistically, what we need is a way to manage that more than worry about the price at this point, in my view, because we just need this to work, don't we? We need this to be a solution where we can go, right, let's have confidence. If I've got this complicated MTD solution and it's a little bit more, if it's a farmer, for example, who's got a partnership and, there's all those sorts of, I suppose partnership doesn't count yet, but when that does come in, like all sorts of complications, that's what we need. We need that like simplicity to it, don't we? And hats off to Xero. If they've kind of nailed that, it's all in one license. You can't, like from a functionality point of view, you can't ask for much more, can you? Because that is going to be, from an accountant bookkeeper point, really, really straightforward. I still feel from a client's point of view, I feel like they would need support from an accountant/bookkeeper to help them get that through. Because, classes and locations is a bit of a complex area, isn't it? It's not ideal. It's not like the most simplistic way of doing it. But I think, again, back to our point now, isn't it, of having those lanes, you're probably at that size of client where they don't mind. Like they're happy to pay for an accountant bookkeeper to do it for them because they just want that side of things sorted, right? Like there's probably quite a bit of cash going through these solutions that they just want it right. But is it really designed for the client to use? Probably not. But yeah, I definitely see that as a solution. I think they've nailed it if they get it all into one, because I know the others have struggled to, well, how do you add your ASA account multiple times? And it was that sort of problem they were having. Like it was more of the system just couldn't cope more like than anything else. Whereas, and I think that's why free agent
they've come, how you say, well, if you're going to come to the party late, come to the party with an evolution.
True.
Agreed. Xero have done that here.
100%.
If what they're saying in their blog is completely, like, as we've read it and it makes sense, they've come to the party late, but with an evolution of the product, which is great. Yeah. And I think TaxCalc's also doing it this way. So TaxCalc's MTD product with their bridging will allow. So the reason I think this is because we had a very long conversation to understand the pricing of TaxCalc's product. Yeah. And it's per national insurance, not per filing. So you'll be able to file multiple SA, like self-assessment incomes through the same license. So if you say you've got 4 different incomes from landlords or whatever it is, you'll be able to file all of that through the same one license because it's all tied to the same national insurance number.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, it's interesting to see these late developments towards MTD its deadline finally getting to the point that actually this is resolving some big questions that the industry's had for a while now.
Yeah.
So that is great. Right, let's see what the community's got to say, because there's a load of
go for it.
messages come in, as you could imagine, on a topic like this.
We've got Susanna just waving.
Susanna's just waving to say hello. Lisa says that is great news. I agree, Lisa. I think this is a really good step in the right direction. Kirsty says, Xero are already on MTD. Yes, I know they were. We've always just said they've been a bit late to the party. We didn't say they weren't here at all. They've just been a bit late to the party and not very clear on their value add, shall we say, which I think they've launched a value add today or last week. So Stephanie's saying that's what we do. We don't just do standalone self-assessment clients. It's all or nothing. Fantastic. Chris Downing, are you 100% sure Xero is supporting sole trader plus sole trader, or is it sole trader plus property only? The way the blog reads is it's sole trader plus sole trader, regardless of what other income that is, because they're using categories, and the blog reads that you could have multiple categories, which is, yeah, I mean, blogs can be very high level and convincing. Let's see what it does in product, because that's going to be the test ground, isn't it? It's going to be very interesting to see this. Yeah. And I'm excited though that if one can do this, so I used to get excited in a lot of different software arenas, like, oh, one's done it, someone else is going to do it. Then I realized actually one's done it in some software industries like practice management. Just because one's done it doesn't mean anyone else is going to try and better it. They just ignore it. But when it comes to Free Agent, QuickBooks, Xero, and Sage, when one does it, they all kind of go, interesting. How can we match this? How can we beat that functionality? So I'm now excited for what's going to come between now and April from these softwares.
Yeah, you're right. Because what I believe is that originally it was basically this can't be done, or at least this is a real technical hurdle to get over, like having 2 different attachments, your ASA account attaching twice and kind of going through and all that sort of stuff. Whereas like Free Agent, because it was 2 separate ASA accounts, I assume that's how they've been able to kind of work their magic and be able to get it to work. Having the same client and the same one, I think that's quite yeah. So hats off that they've been able to do it, because again, pretty sure a lot of the others were saying, yeah, it's not that it's not possible, but that's a real technical problem to go through.
Yeah. So Susanna says, is clarifying the Free Agent stand. So you need to have 2 licenses for separate income streams for Free Agent. Yeah. But Aaron's correct that on the property one, you can do separate joint property incomes, i.e. husband and wife.
Yeah. And do we know if Xero can do that? Can we have, so yeah, 1 license for 2? Yeah, it would be great to find that out, wouldn't it? Because I think, or if not, then that's definitely thrown that thing into mix where Free Agent's perfect for this scenario, Xero is perfect for that scenario, QuickBooks that scenario, and Sage that scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I actually did see over the weekend that we've not discussed? Was it Revolut or Monzo? I think it was a Monzo advert talking about MTD It powered by Sage.
Oh, so they're actually shouting about Sage. Excellent. Because Tide never did they? That's why we keep forgetting about it, because it's like, yeah.
But yeah, like I'm sure it was a Monzo advert that I saw, and it was like on so it's on a social media feed, and there's a nice big logo powered by Sage. And it's like, fair enough. Good to see that.
Nice. Yeah, I'm on the wait list. I'm trying to wait for the wait list to finally come through so I can activate mine. That'd be good.
So Xana says, husband and wife with joint income from property can file from one free agent license, which is ideal. Paul says tax calc's MTD option helps here. Yeah, as I say, tax calc is already looking at this. And Clive says, good morning, lads. Hope you've had a great weekend. Nick Moss, the genius that is Nick Moss from TaxCalc, has said, in TaxCalc, if I'm a sole trader with 30 different sole trader types and 50 foreign properties and 10 UK properties, that's one chargeable license, which is
Nice.
nice. So yeah, so TaxCalc's nailed this. Xero's nailed it. That, I think that really reinforces the gauntlet has been laid down now for the others to stop profiteering by selling multiple licenses and deliver the functionality so we can do it on one license.
But again, they're all going to have deals and everything else. Like, because also, like the big point I would say to this is, again, if you've got the client that fits within your Xero defined client base, this definitely works, right? Because they are looking at that higher end MTD type of client, and there's a great tool to put it there. But if you're not, if for whatever reason you've got a client that you're trying to work, maybe it's the wife of one of your biggest clients, right? And she does some sewing or whatever it's going to be, right? And you know, you want to support her, but also at the same time you want to make it fair. Like, I still don't think Xero's that right for there. And I think I would more than happy say, look, it's X pound per month for a QuickBooks Sole Trader license, which will pretty much AI point of view just do it for you. You don't have to do anything. Like, literally make sure your bank account's attached. I'll check it for you, and we've got it submitted. Like, that's the sort of time saving we need if we're gonna do MTD at scale. You're not
Sage, you've got MTD agent, Copilot agent.
Yeah.
We don't quite know what Jax is going to do yet when it comes to this stuff, but I've seen people testing the Jax bank statement categorization, and it's looking positive. So it's all going in that direction.
But they're not interested in that direction, then what are they? Like Xero, let's be honest, Xero do not care about that. They've made that very, very clear to us. So all I'm saying is, if you're a Xero only practice, you're going to have to look elsewhere. There's going to have to be a free agent, Sage, or QuickBooks element to your practice if you want to be involved in that, because
or TaxCalc bridging.
Or TaxCalc bridging, yeah. But even TaxCalc bridging, you're still going to get the data in there, right? Like that's not helping you. It's all about data extraction.
TaxCalc bridging will be pulling that data directly from Xero, QuickBooks Free Agent into TaxCalc.
But again, Xero is not helping a client to get that data in easily, right? There's no magic wand here to help them. I know Jax is going to come along and that'll be great, but there's still going to be elements to help. Whereas the others have really, like, the metal integration, superb for this, right? Like, absolutely, like this is like gold dust. The Monzo
that results in a free. So Free Agent is free for multiple. If you need multiple licenses, because you get a Mutter account or several RBS accounts or NatWest accounts, fine. Sage does it free MTD already.
Yeah. So and you've got the Monzo integration that I know there's a paid for element to it, but you're gonna get that money back quite soon if you're doing your bookkeeping via Monzo, right? Like there's element to that. And again, QuickBooks has got that fully AI automated solution. All three of them have a way of extracting data in a way that for MTD, beautiful. Like, it's a really, really, really good solution. But if you're just Xero, you're going to really struggle to compete in that arena. Like, all I'm saying is Xero are forcing practices that if they want to be involved in MTD at that level, they're going to have to find another solution to go with it. Like, there's no way around it, or you're going to be running at a loss, or it's going to be painful. You're going to have to absorb. Like, I just think that you're forcing those Xero practices.
But you're also going on the assumption that they're all dealing with this level of client. Maybe they've, like Stephanie, has decided no.
Yeah, that's fine, but I don't know. It just feels like there are plenty of
Xero. It's the right tool for her business. It's the right
Xero forcing them down that route as well, aren't they? Right? Because Xero users are loyal, they are loyal. Fair play to them, right? Like, they are not going to go out look elsewhere because they know Xero's there and they've always had their back and all this and the other. But Xero aren't supporting them to go after those type of clients. And as a Xero only firm, you've got to take that on board. You've got to kind of accept that. And you're right. For some practices, that's not a problem. No worry, it's water off a duck back. There are going to be practices out there who want to support their clients for MTD, right? They're going to want to help them. And I just feel like they're going to be forced to go elsewhere, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. Now, the next topic is Companies House rant. But since we've just ranted for about 20 minutes on what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the other three topics, and then
Okay.
we'll come back to your rant about Companies House, which is probably going to be a rinse and repeat of everything you've already been saying. For how I've not known you stay this angry about a topic for a long time.
Ever.
So let's bypass that rant and we'll come back
Okay.
to it. Cresco, not spoken about Cresco in a long time, not seen them at an event in a while. Obviously, their biggest news a couple of years ago now, with when they became a payment platform for Xero to help get your invoice paid at Xero, which was fantastic news for them. They've put an announcement out. Their free tool is no longer going to be free from the start of January. So they will be charging £10 for money in a month, unlimited amount of invoices coming in, and £25 if you want money to go out and pay bills with as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw a bit of frustration online over this. I'm going to put it out there. £10 a month for a payment platform to get money in is an absolute bargain. Now, yes, open banking, which is the tool they use, is technically free, but you can't, they're not making any money out of that. So their business model was always about making money out of payable bills, out of foreign exchange, etc. And I fear they've started to realize that actually there's not as much FX trading going on with small accountants and bookkeeping firms and small clients as perhaps they modeled there would be. So I don't think these charges are unreasonable in the grand scheme of things. I think you could pay a lot more for, but then you could also get a lot of better range. You know, I think I pay my bill to adfin's like £400-500 a month for collecting my payments, but then I get to offer direct debit, bank transfer, Apple Pay, Google Pay, etc. So for me, completely worth it, because we tried the open banking only option. It just didn't work for us.
Yeah.
Everything was late, chasing clients, it soured the relationship, etc. So that didn't work for us. I know it works great for other firms, and that's fantastic. But yeah, so it's £10 a month to get your money in. I think it's £25 a month if you want to pay money as well. So yeah, I can't say I'm surprised by this one. I've been expecting it for quite a while, because I never thought the business was ever going to do enough financial transactions, etc., to get a viable business model. But at £10 a year, £10 a month, I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I mean, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think the timing said it all, because it's the same week that Xero have started to say that they're going to charge for their integrations and everything else. And I feel like it's all interlinked, right? And I feel sorry for Cresco, because I feel like if they didn't have all this mounting pressure on them in terms of raising costs and, you know, AWS costs, or I don't know if they're on AWS, but we've seen that with other clients, right? Go through that. I'm sure Engagers felt the pain of that if they're on AWS. But whatever that infrastructure costs, like these costs are just going up and up and up and up. And like the squeeze on that business must have been absolutely unreal for them, right? And I feel like the Xero cost was just that final nail in the coffin for them, the straw that broke the camel's back. And I feel really sorry for them, because are they not, because they've got that such a linked partnership for them? We don't know, like tinfoil hat moment, but you'd imagine they were on some sort of preferential rate, or they would have had something. You'd have hoped that Xero would have wrapped a thing around them and says, look, we've got you in this, you know, you've done a great job for us, you've given a great pain point for our clients, here's a way to kind of soften the blow. Yeah, just using the looking at tea leaves and reading what's on social media and seeing these news, it doesn't feel like that's happened, because it feels like that whole £10 came into the same point, that this new cost has come in that they just can't absorb. Like, if you're giving away a free product, I'm sorry, you can't. Yeah, maybe the infrastructure cost they could just about absorb, maybe the support cost they could just about absorb, but this would have been really tight, wouldn't it? I think this is just look, this is a direct cost. No way we can deal with it. There's no way we can absorb it anywhere else. We're just gonna have to bite the bullet. And like I said, a £10, I don't think that's a problem at all. I think that's a really fair price
If it's your primary revenue income tool, then fine. So Steph's just mentioned in the comments, though, it's from the 1st of February. So correction corner, sorry. It's not the 1st of January, it's the 1st of February. Not all bookkeepers got the email. I'm fully aware of that issue because people opt out of emails and then they wonder when why they don't get the important ones.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to, the amount of times that I've sent emails to my clients and then they go, oh, I didn't get that email. It's like, because you opted out. What the bloody hell do you want me to do? I can't opt you back in. That's against GDPR. So if you opt out of emails, you're going to struggle to be notified. But she's saying if you only receive 3 or 4 payments a year, a percentage fee is better for those cases. It is, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've not used Cresco in a long time. We've been on Adfin for so long, like since January. But yeah, if you're only getting 3 or 4 payments a year, then Cresco is not a bargain for you. I get it, but there's plenty of choice in that market. It's not like you're being held to ransom.
Yeah, and who else are you going to go with? Because if you went for the free version of others, don't you then have to worry about things like, I'm thinking just purely like Go Cardless, for example, where if you don't pay for the solution, doesn't your name not appear on the bank account? So it just comes through as Go Cardless, whatever the payment provider is going to be. Like, that's what you're trading, isn't it? Cresco's never done that. Cresco from day one, I believe, and someone tell me if I'm wrong here, I believe that if you charge the client and that your name will appear in the bank account, right? That's a luxury.
Banking, that by default.
Yeah, that's a luxury that you have to pay for in other payment providers, right?
Yeah.
And then your other solution is just ask them to pay via backs or a direct bank feed or whatever, right? Like there you've got the completely free version where the client just pays you, or you go for maybe more.
You pay for that at Cresco as well.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. So even that's not even a paid for solution. So yeah, I mean, do you get that as part of the £10?
Who knows? I've not seen the detail behind it. So yeah, Paul says, I agree with Steph. I'll probably be removing the payment option in favor of Adfin direct payment. And then Kirsty says, I've got a couple of charity clients that use it to get money in for free. But do they do enough money coming in that actually £10 a month is still cheaper than going to another provider where they charge a percentage per payment or something? We're going to need to do the maths for each client that's using it. But I suppose the biggest issue is here is where, once again, we've promoted and encouraged a piece of software or a solution to a problem, and the goalposts based on which and the foundations that we have based that recommendation off has now moved fundamentally.
Yeah, but at least in this scenario, because Xero's always had this advantage, right? Your pay now button, you get choices. I think it's not unlimited choices, is it? There's only so many that can interact with that.
That's QuickBooks, it's still a hyperlink on a clickable invoice. It looks spammy as anything.
Yeah,
for Cresco, yeah.
And for any third party you want to use that,
open up the pay now button. So yeah. But for Cresco, you've got a range. For Xero, you've got a range of who powers that pay now button.
Yeah, which is definitely an advantage there, because you've got choices, right? And because from a client's point of view, they're probably not going to know if you change from Cresco to whoever in the background who also offers this pay now button. They're not going to know any different, are they? They'll just see. It's like you mentioned QuickBooks, and they're swapping providers, right? They went from PayPal, they're now doing Arden and go through from there. Client's never going to know about it. They don't know any different about the thing. But at least with Xero, you do have that choice, right? So if you are now going, Cresco's just not affordable for me for whatever reason, or it doesn't fit my thing anymore, whatever, blah, blah, blah. At least you've got another choice to connect to it so that the client has no idea that anything different's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. And Steph said Apron's the alternative now for her, and Xero can have any URL for the Pay Now button. So the only bit I don't like with Apron solution is it's too manual. I don't like that the client's got to put a reference in. I don't like the client's got to type their own values in there of how much they're going to pay us. it just leads to headaches and reconciliation headaches that I don't want.
Yeah.
No,
And this whole any URL, is that automated? You can use Xero can have any URL for a pay now button.
I've not
Is that
played
you
with that
got to
before.
put the URL in to do it, or because I was always under the impression that they've still locked it down to only a select few that get access to that pay now API.
Don't know.
Adfin, for example, they don't have access to it, right?
No.
Yeah. So there must be some
Look,
some
Adfin
sort of,
works in a different way. Adfin pulls the data from Xero through the API and sends the invoice from their tool.
But they would obviously look, or every solution would love the idea that you could have that pay now button directly in, right? Like that's the way to get mass adoption, isn't it? Like it's literally you send an invoice from your FMS solution and then you get the opportunity to have the pay now button. That is the way, like if you're going to be a payments provider, that is the
Steph just said in the comments, as an advisor, there's a custom URL. You can add anything.
But does that, I get it that you could, but that's not going to be a dynamic link though, is it? That'll be a URL to go, here's my payment platform. And like you've just said there with Adfin, with Apron, where you'll type it in and put the reference, put the amount in. I believe that's what that URL is, right? Because it's not an API link. An API link would go, well, let's make a dynamic URL that is for that customer, for that amount, and for this, and for that invoice, right? Just putting a URL in. Yeah.
We need to test that this week and come back.
A URL can never be dynamic, right? A URL is just because you can have a URL to anything, right? You could have a URL to your Just Giving page.
That's all you need for Apron so Apron's URL is not dynamic. Apron's is just a fixed URL, and they enter the details as a customer.
Yeah.
No, don't trust the customer. Just give them Apple Pay.
Adfin, for example, could build us one of them if we really wanted to, right? They could have a store page basically, and you could type in whatever number you want and press the payment and done. But you're right, like what we want is something more dynamic, more like we've charged you 150 quid or whatever the number is going to be. We want you to pay us 150 quid, and it goes against that bank, doesn't it? Because the whole point of this is it auto reconciles in the background, and it tells that's what we're paying the £10 per month for, isn't it? Is that it was going to mark it as paid in the background, and it's going to, when it comes through the bank account, it's easy to that's what you're paying for, is that the bookkeeping side of it more than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the time you're saving there.
Yeah.
Right. Paul says, with all these payment options, what are clients suggesting for those using SumUp and Settle and other payment terminals? What's your go-to payment terminal at the moment, Aaron? Because you're more into this.
Yeah, SumUp. We just did a video on it. The new SumUp terminal is absolutely amazing. Zettle doesn't exist anymore as a brand. It's now PayPal. POS. Still good if you're with a QuickBooks, but I even think with that integration, the SumUp one wins each time for me. So yeah, SumUp for me is the go-to of choice. But the best person to speak to about this is Tim over at TCS, because he'll go, don't use those toys, as he'll call them. There's better, more professional tools out there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
definitely have a word with Tim over at TCS, Paul. He'll be the clued up guy to have a chat with. Right, moving on, because that was a longer rant than I was expecting as well. Xenon have released an update. Now, I'm excited by this update. This update is going to be very good. So Xenon have released an update where they're going to check with Companies House what the closing balances were of the last set of accounts, and they're going to check that your balances in QuickBooks Xero, Free Agent, and Sage are the same. And as soon as they go out of sync, you get a notification in Xenon. I mean, yeah. Knowing how many times my team come to me and go, this is different to what it was. Like, to have that check throughout the year constantly happening, that is phenomenal, if you ask me. I mean, yeah. Your thoughts on this?
I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I think this is why has no one thought about this before? That's what I want to know. Yeah, and I don't know what voodoo they're using. Is it OCR technology that they're bringing in? But I wasn't aware Companies House even had these APIs available of like retained earnings and things like that, and connected, all that sort of stuff. If they do, why is not other solutions using this? Like, why are we not having this? Because opening balance, like you've already said, is such a pain point, which is getting eradicated because we're now using cloud technology and it's less of a problem, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's still clients out there who aren't using like cloud technology to its full, and we're still having those elements go there. My one ask to Xenon, if we can get a feature, is can it now, once it's kind of done that, can it then suggest what the opening balances could need to be? I've not played with it, so maybe it's already doing that. But if it can go that step, I will, yeah, because that's still one of those.
It flags that your opening balances are incorrect against the closing balances, and it tells you what's wrong.
Oh, okay, cool. So, and if it could just do one last step, is actually post that correcting journal for me, absolutely, because opening balance is still one of those things, and maybe it's a fact that we're just not training our juniors as well as we used to, but there's still problems with them trying to like get to grips with what an opening balance is. Like, for some reason, maybe it's because we don't go back to journals as much as we used to. I don't know what it is, but I've definitely seen a shift where open balance journals just used to, you tell them once and they go, oh yeah, okay, bit weird, but over time it clicked. Now it's like constantly having to explain what opening balance is. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems to be one of those lost arts almost.
Those that nail the opening and closing balances each year then forget to lock the accounts or something, and a receipt goes in with a dodgy number, dodgy date, and it throws it all out. And anything is subject to any kind of interference. So this is a huge result from Xenon. I've also asked him, Xenon, for a feature that notifies us when a balance sheet goes into negative equity, just so that we can having that conversation with clients earlier, rather than having to check it ourselves all the time. A bit like the VAT checker. Like, to be fair, between the VAT checker, the new Company's House feature, and the new and that, if I can get that negative balance sheet checker, like, regardless of the health score features and all the other powerful tech in there, that's value for money for me.
Yeah.
So
I believe it's still the case. It tells you if your direct loan goes overdrawn, right? Like, again, that's such a value add, such a value. You could potentially save your clients thousands of pounds of things by just being proactive on that, right? Like, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with this release. We've got, sorry, someone's spamming the comments, so I'm just trying to weave my way through all of that. But give up, because you're not going to get read out. Sue Green says SumUp terminal is great. Wish we could link the SumUp bank to zero if we can. I don't know.
Pro hack on all of these. I was the same. I was like, if it's not got an automation, I'm not interested. It's not got an API, I'm not interested. But pro hack on all these. Get yourself ChatGPT's, especially now 5.2. We've not spoken about 5.2, have we? But now 5.2's out there. Make sure you're on the business version, which is what, £30 a month for 2 users, so £60 a month. But it makes stuff like this an absolute dream. You grab that statement, you whack it into, you say what platform you want it to go into, and it'll just create you a file that you can just upload on a monthly basis. Saves you so much time. Love it.
Exactly. And Stephanie says, I love that from Xenon. Great update, Gareth. Yeah, fantastic update. Right. 10 minutes to go. So HMRC decides not to proceed with formal tax advisor regulation. Talk us through it, Aaron. What have you seen?
Let's go to the Company's House one, only because we don't know fully what's going on here. Let's go to the Company's House.
We'll come back. We'll cover that next week then.
Yeah.
Right. For anyone that's bored of Aaron ranting, you can tune off now. It's lovely to see you again this week, and we'll see you again next week. For anyone that wants to listen to Aaron rant about the same thing again, Aaron, how's Company's House upset you this week?
Where do I start? Look, and again, I completely admit I'm the problem here, right? I didn't read all the small print. I didn't look at all the different updates, and I've not been able to keep on top of everything else.
CPD hours, did you?
Exactly right. You know what I mean? Like, but I did actually watch a fair few webinars. I watched a fair few things, and the one bit that really got my back up was, I mean, there's two bits now, right? First one, were you aware that if you did an ASCP for a client, that your name was going to be plastered all over that client for the end of time on Company's House? Because I missed that update.
I was, and that's why we chose not to promote, and we encouraged all our clients to do it themselves.
Yeah, but if you did do it, and you did, your name is now on there for the end of time, which is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, that's that. They've made a choice on that. There's pros and cons for it. Whatever. I won't get into that. But the bit that really wound me up is that in Company's House, when you need to tell them, so first step is you've got to create your ID. So either you're going to let the client do it themselves and they'll hand you that ID, or you're going to do it for them and then they'll hand the ID for you. But either way, you're going to get that new ID code. When the CSA1 comes along, you're going to go through and you're going to attach the directors to that ID code, and then it's going to start creating this link. And again, we've said it enough times, and we'll say it again. The premise and the end goal of this, we're fully on board with, right? The fact that we're verifying the people who own the practices, own the businesses, loving that, absolutely loving that. It works really well. So you go to your CSA1, you put in the code for the directors, you come to the PSC, you can't put the code in there. They haven't built any functionality whatsoever for you to put the code in there. Now, originally, I thought that my solution that I use, my company secretarial solution, just didn't bother building this. That was my first reaction. Oh, my solution's just not bothered building this, right? So, boo-hoo-hoo sort of thing. But when you go to Company's House themselves, you go to the back end, you try and do a CSO1 directly through Company's House, you cannot put your PSC's ID in there. You have to go into a separate form, the VSO1, and you have to submit that through there. Now, when we first got told about this, it was more about the date issue, wasn't it? It was, if your directors and your PSCs at the same time, don't worry about it, because the due date's going to be when the CSO1. Great, that works really, really well. Let's get that in there. And, we all know what our CSO1s are. We've got great tech like Engager telling us and reminding us that that's going to be there, right? So that's fine. That's not a problem. We're on board with that. That's a great solution. Then there's this quirk that if they're not a director but a PSC, then you have to go by their birthday to be able to put it in. And that was their birthday that had to go in there. And then I rightly, at that point, I was like, oh, there must be a form to fill in to complete that. And that's what the VSO1 is. Okay. So naive by me, and again, I'm to blame here, but naively to me, I was like, that VSO1 must only be needed for the PSCs who are not directors, therefore they can't put it on the CSO1, therefore we're only going to need this VSCO1 form, this verification of a PSC. We're only going to need that if and only if they're not a director. Fine, there's this whole rigmarole. It doesn't have too many implications. It was like the hardest bit was finding a database of who they are that was affected. Once you've got that, it's actually not going to be too bad. It's like, I imagine for most people out there, for most firms, it's a very small percentage of your directors and people you work for, right? Fair enough. But to find out that for me to tell Company's House, so let's use me as an example, right? I file for one of my companies. I'm attaching myself as director in the CSO1, but as a PSC, I've also got to do a separate form to then go and push this through. Why? Like, in what universe does that make sense? In what universe do we go, you know what? We've signed you up for this and you didn't want to do it anyway. This is Company's House. We've signed you up, you didn't want to do it. We're going to plaster your name over it to really put the screw in to really upset you about it. Oh, and also, while you're doing your CSO1, we need you to complete multiple other forms as well for as many PSCs as there are, and you're going to have to submit them at the same time. You're cool with that, aren't you? You're happy to do that, right? I don't remember any of us saying we were happy to do that. So yeah, look, I am fuming with that because I can kind of see from Company's House point of view, maybe there's like a database conflict. Maybe their database of PSCs doesn't attach nicely or whatever it's going to be. Whatever the technical reason is behind it, that should have been fixed before any of this was rolled out. Like, it is absolutely obscene that we're now having to do a CSO1, multiple VSO1s for this. We should just have it all on that CSO1. That's where the code should be. And we shouldn't have to be doing all this extra work. It's ridiculous. What's your thoughts?
Oh, it's a complete admin nightmare. And whichever idiot at Company's House came up and thought, sorry, that's not fair. This wouldn't have been one idiot. This would have been a meeting room full of idiots who don't understand effective ways of working. Whoever came up with this needs to be shot. Like, it's just an absolute mess. But some softwares have dealt with it and made it very easy. Some softwares have said they're not even going to do the VSO1 form, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So yeah, it is a mess, but I don't know. It's not going to change, is it?
Because there's practices out there who don't use. I mean, we're in a lucky position. I think both of us are, because we're both using company secretarial solutions, and we're happy to pay the X amount per month, whatever that number is going to be, right? Because it saves us so much time and it's so much more efficient, and it's just like it helps. There's practices out there who don't use that, either because they're not even aware that there's going to be a problem, or there's not even like that they're not, they don't see the price benefit of whatever the reason is, right? We're lucky we've got that software to help us. And even with the software, like, I'm having major problems with my software because it's not quite doing it how it should be, and all this, that, and the other, and it's not providing all the functionality I need. So now I've got to evaluate that, and now I'm having to move software, and I'm going to go through all of that because of this requirement, right?
Yeah.
But imagine you didn't have any software. Imagine you were doing this just by logging in, because even logging in, the next one is because now one login gov, which again, I appreciate the idea of one login gov. I think that's a great idea, but they completely mess that up, because now as a team, my team can't log in to find a nice list of all the clients that we have connected to CSA1. They've got to now create their own, and there's no add a team member or going through like that, or creating this as a team or anything. No. They've just got to start from scratch. They've got to add all their customers. Imagine you had a client, you had a team, and you didn't have this via, company secretarial software, and you were manually having to go in to do not only the CSO1, but now the VSO ones, multiple probably, and having to go through that. It's just ridiculous. The
thing is,
so wound
I
up
think
with
they're doing it deliberately. For company. So we know next year, is it next year or the following year? We know Companies House aren't going to let us file accounts via the Companies House website, right?
Yes.
You've got to use software. That's happening.
Yeah.
It is only a matter of time until you can't file anything through their website, and it is just a database to review. Like confirmation statements, etc. It will all have to be done through software in the coming years. They've not said it, but I can pretty much guarantee that's the direction they're going in.
Which is ridiculous for the client, right? Like, for us, we'll pay for the software, we'll get it all set up, and everyone's fine. But for a client, like, that is absolutely ridiculous if they do go down that route, which sounds like they're going to have to, right? Well, not going to have to, but it sounds like the writing's on the wall for it. But yeah, look, I have no issue with the price being increased and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's a value to Companies House that is, unimaginable, really, if you think about it, like as an economy and everything else. So I don't have any issues with that. But if you're going to raise the prices, also raise the customer experience, right? Like do it hand in hand. Like, give something back to us. Don't take things away. Don't make our life even harder. Like, it just, this whole system was completely rushed out. Just no beta testing, or at least not that we were aware of. Like, and whoever was in that beta testing needs shooting. Like, honestly, this has been an absolute palaver, and it just shows so much how we are. We've just got to bow down to what they wanted, this change. Again, we agree with the change it needed, but they wanted this change, and they're just like, well, we'll just put something out there, and they'll have to deal with it. And it's been an absolute nightmare. Cheryl asks, if the client has verified their ID and got it's the code with our name, show if we submit it to Companies House. So from what I'm aware of, no, that's not the case. But
it only shows if you verified their identity.
Yeah, which again, just weird, right? Like, that's just such a weird way of doing it. Surely everyone should, if they're going to go with this VSCO1, like, the tick to say verified, is that not enough? In my opinion, should that not be enough? Not that, it's ticks that's verified. But then if they've opted to pay for an ASCP, they get this random extra bit of information plastered all over it, which isn't there some sort of GDPR data restriction or something that we should be worried about here? Because suddenly then client A is going to know, or accountant B is going to know that client A is now at this accountant, or do you know what I mean? Like that's there now, and that's always going to be there. And I mean, one person says, "Oh, that's nice advertising."
Wasn't that information really already there because you can see on the accounts? Like most people include the accountant's details on the accounts.
You should do, but not everyone was, were they? Like, and again, I suppose this is a positive, maybe, right? A positive that is forcing it in, but not everyone having to do it. So if you've chosen to do ASCP, then you're putting your name on those clients and you're pushing your names out there, right? Like we've had to do it for like 10% of our client base. We've been doing it for them, right? Only they have to go for option one. We've had this conversation, right? That 10% of that client base not only had to pay for the privilege, but now they've got our name plastered all over company's house on them. Like, but that was supposed to be our responsibility to tell our client that if you want us to do it, not only will we charge you for it, but also we're going to have to put your name on it as well. Like again, I'm at fault here because I didn't read all of the little, I didn't go through all of it, and I didn't go through every little aspect of it all. I had a practice to run. I had other things to do at the same time, right? Like surely we should have had like some sort of testing process so we could see what this impact was going to be, what was going to happen, what all the pain points we'd have gone through. Then we could make a choice are we going to offer this as a solution to our clients? Not let's send an email out to every single client out there and says, don't you worry about it. If you can't do it, your accountant will do it for you. That's what me. That's the bit I'm still going back to, because we were almost forced to provide this for our clients without knowing ourselves what the implications were going to be.
Yeah. And Stephanie says, does that still happen if you opt out of the ACSP public register?
We don't know. And this is the thing, right? No one knows. No one knows the answer to that. And also, why did we have to opt out? Why wouldn't we just opt it out anyway? Why was this not an opt-in solution?
Wait, like technically under GDPR, shouldn't we always have to opt into things for data protection, not opt out?
Not in this solution. This solution, yeah. Yeah, unless we misread when we were doing our application form or whatever, and there was a tick box that we didn't see, right?
It's like software companies taking pictures of rows of name badges for an event and putting it on LinkedIn. Like GDPR, maybe that's a person's name and a firm name on a name badge. So you've just taken a picture of and put across the whole of LinkedIn, but never mind.
Maybe we should open that kind of worms. I guess in trouble. I'm sure we've done it on the Asset Counter before when we swooped through on the grid walk. Oops.
Yeah. Right. It is 9:33. We have overrun as per usual. We will come back to this topic, I am sure, because it's your favourite topic at the moment, isn't it, Aaron?
I'm fuming about it. I don't want to be known as a moaner and a ranter, but I mean, LinkedIn's rewarding me for it. So what can I say?
Brilliant. And we've got topics to come back to next week as well. So we will see you all here next week. Aaron, what have you got on this week, apart from more anger and ranting at companies?
A lot of anger, a lot of ranting. Finalising, we hope, some very exciting updates and projects and stuff going on in the world of AAG, which is a whole new term that you'll learn when it finally comes to things. It's no longer just Bofix anymore. We've outgrown Bofix. We're into AAG territory now. So yeah, it should be good fun. How about yourself, Johann? Anything exciting going on in your world?
This week's about cracking on, getting work done. I came back from meetings last week with a book full of notes that I need to now action. So yeah, all fun and games. Lots of productivity needed this week, so I can break up on the 19th.
On the 19th, part-timer.
Oh, yeah. Break up on the 19th. Come back on the 5th. Chill out. Yep. So, well, I'm covering Engager support in that time, but you can do that as I did last year from the sofa with a laptop, a glass of Baileys, and a mince pie. Good luck with support tickets later in the day. Catch me early, guys.
Yeah.
Mince pie all over this keyboard.
I love that. I'm really happy for you. Yeah, the idea of having from the 19th to the 5th. Oh, glorious. That is glorious. I think I'm having Christmas Day off. I think not, it's undecided at the moment. We're hit and miss. We don't know if we quite can have that or not. But yeah, fingers crossed I get the 25th off. That's what I'm aiming for.
I hope you get more than that. But anyway, we'll be back here next week. Of course, because as well as support, we'll still be podcasting each week.
Oh, we will.
So
yeah.
we will be back here next week to maybe do a bit of a review of the year, our favourite updates and stuff. If we don't do that next week and there's news, we'll do it the following week between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you want to announce what's happening on Wednesday?
Yes. What's happening on
bonus
Wednesday?
show.
Oh, we're doing a bonus show on Wednesday.
We are. Tell the world.
It's not in the diary in the next 4 hours, so I don't know what's happening after that. So on Wednesday, Aaron, at
I think it's 4:30, but I could be wrong. You keep talking.
All the Ask the Accountant Network are coming together for a bonus episode. This will be free and publicly aired, but this will be giving you a flavour of what Patreon members will get, and this will, going forwards from January onwards, will only be put into the Patreon group. It will not be public, so you will only get this content in Patreon going forwards, but we're going to give you the first episode free of charge on all of our usual channels.
And the topic for the first one, and the first public one, is we're doing a swagathon. So we have got a really exciting little concept where we're going to be looking at the best swag we've ever had, and we've got a really cool way of like deciding what it's going to be. It's going to be a little battle system, and you're going to have to battle it off and go through from there. We're going to have the most quirkiest bit of swag you've ever had, and then what's your favorite swag for 2025? And we've already got confirmed Charlie's going to be there, James is going to be there, Simon's going to be there, Tim's going to be there, yourself's going to be there, I'm going to be there, and hashtag Audit Amy's going to be there as well. So the whole network. And maybe get Lizzie in if we can bully her. I think if everyone goes on social media and says we want Lizzie, hashtag, I'm sure we can get her to be on there as well.
Yep, absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to that on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, and bring your Baileys.
And bring your Baileys.
Or whatever alcoholic or normal drink you want.
Brilliant. But yeah, if you can't make that, make sure you watch it back later on YouTube, etc. And then we will see you all here, same time, same place, next week for episode 164.
Big numbers. Bye, everyone.